Hello, I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at All Things Social Security and Joy Disability Law. Your video is about to start. I just wanted to remind you that if you click the join button below, you can learn more about the memberships offered at a very affordable price that can give you a little more direct attorney answers to your questions. Have a great day and enjoy the video. Hey there, I am following up with it was a pro bono issue, just trying to help someone out, not representational, and not something I necessarily do, but I did it for a certain reason this time. When the person had a cog in the wheel of getting the SSA to actually move forward on something. So if you recall, this was a person who had been disabled, had inadvertently lost the disability due to working a hair too much. That was water under the bridge. So there was an overpayment situation and then a expedited reinstatement application. And that was, say, a year ago. And it was taking this long. So expedited doesn't always mean expedited, everybody. And it had come to the point where zero income and about to lose the home that she lived in, because the rent was, she owned the home, but it's on, mobile homes are often on rented land. So she was going to be evicted in a way coming up, although the landlord was certainly trying to be very gracious and extension. But property taxes were also not being paid, which was the responsibility apparent of the mobile home owner. And I'm not into Pennsylvania mobile home law. So we had reached out, obviously, to the SSA to be like, where is this at? Because previous discussions this claimant had with the SSA provided inconsistent results. Oh, you won your case. It's just up in payment center. Oh, yeah, we just got to wait for payment center. And then, oh, I don't see that you won your case. So it was really confusing. And again, remember, on the backdrop is there's an overpayment due for previous months received benefits after working too much, too long, and the SSA catching up with it. So, or yeah, too much, I should say, working. The working itself wasn't the problem per se. So we did have a three-way. I refreshed your, I'll click the video in here, but there was a three-way call with SSA. We gave them a few days to see if the person would be able to do anything. Now that there was an attorney on the phone, we did a three-way. I was not representing her, but you can actually do it where you explain to the staffer that picks up the phone that, I'm an attorney and I'm speaking with Ms. So-and-so. She's here. She wants to have this conversation with me here to help answer questions. And she gives permission. Do you want to ask her if she gives permission, Ms. Staffer? And of course, she asked, do you give permission for so-and-so? Yes. So that's how we got me involved without being a representative. So I'm very peripherally, that's the extent of it. But what we did after that, because we gave it, that was on a Friday, we gave it till Monday. We hadn't heard anything back by the end of Monday. We conferred and we put together a congressional inquiry. And anyway, here's the result of that. I already have a very short video explaining the response we got from the Congressional Inquiry when we first made it. And here we have the next one. And it's very pleasing. So I really think people need to start doing this and holding our Congress people accountable for fulfilling their roles. They get paid every day. They don't necessarily work every day. So this one was, I have to say, I was pleased. So the congressperson's team member, who is a constituent advocate for a particular senator, we have received the following interim response from SSA to our congressional inquiry on Ms. Mary Doe's case, see below. And it says that Ms. So-and-so is the supervisor that will monitor the case to completion. Management sent a critical payment to Mary Doe. That's the lady I'm trying to help. And her payments are current. the case will be transferred to the Philadelphia Congressional Unit so it can be processed there. Thrilled, thrilled, thrilled. So I reached out to, well, I forwarded it to the person I was helping and asked if they had received any payment. That might have been very close in time, and she probably hadn't looked in her bank account, so she didn't think so. And lo and behold, sure enough, there was I think it was a $1,500 payment, which is going to cover her butt for now in a big way. And then hopefully these payments will be kind of adapting to the fact that there's an overpayment. So this is the next message that I had, and I don't even see it in here, but I recall it because it was just yesterday. They will institute, the payments will be coming, and they will institute that 10% withholding until there's a reason not to, I suppose, instead of that 100% withholding. We've been talking about this new ruling by the SSA stopping overpayments from defaulting to 100%, can I speak? 100% withholding until the claimant somehow gets that changed. No, the default is now 10%. So you still get your benefits, but for 10% scraped off the top to go towards the alleged overpayment. While you're working through your overpayment, maybe you're fighting it, maybe you're asking for a waiver, or you're asking for a different kind of payment plan. So it's something you have to address, but in the meantime, it's 10% and not 100%. So it looks like going forward, we got the immediate payment, and now they're going to start paying her monthly with a 10% withholding for the overpayment. And they probably will want to see about, I'm guessing, they still want to hear from somebody about, well, what kind of payment plan can you do? 10% is the default. It's not necessarily the end all be all, because you could have $1 million sitting in the bank, right? We know how people are. Sometimes people don't pay their bills. Not the case here, but I would imagine that they will then want to solidify what the payment plan should be. I wouldn't be surprised if it stays 10%. This isn't a person of great means, and it's a senior. And, there's no other family member, husband, spouse, girlfriend, anybody to, help the cost of living. Like we have it a little easier when we have a reliable partner, right? Okay. So that is really good news. Thrilled to pieces. I will be thanking them. So will, I'm sure, the client. And anyway, I just want to keep you up to date. Those congressional inquiries can be very important and very helpful, particularly in an election year. Hello. I did check before I decided which of the 3 congresspeople to send the congressional inquiry to, which ones were up for election in November 2024. And that's how I picked the person I picked. So that might give you a clue. All right. Although I will say, I've done congressional inquiries for probably nearly 20 years. Not quite, because I haven't quite been in this field for that long. Another few months it will be. They're rare, but I have, a dozen or 2 over the years. And I will say, by and large, it didn't matter what side of the fence the politician was on. Now, I will say, about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I had one that initially was helpful and then kind of fell off the face of the earth. That is the only time. And it was a person local to my area. And I'm guessing, I didn't look at it, but I'm guessing it wasn't an election year. Or perhaps the person did some Googling on me and maybe perhaps realized that I didn't appear to be someone who would vote for that congressperson. Really shouldn't matter. I mean, their job is to do this for all their constituents, not just those that are going to vote for them. So I don't know. But that didn't happen here. So everything's good and dandy. And 99.9% of the time it is, and none of that is a consideration. Okay. Very well. Good news. Use those congressional inquiries appropriately, and they work well. Bye, guys.